Good morning, dear friends. What a joy to be reunited in prayer. We may be going through struggles, trials, difficulties, but we're not alone. We have God. We have one another. We have this current of healing prayers. And today, talking about the good of life, here comes the poet, Casimiro Cunha, through Chico Xavier in the book Charity, translated from its original Portuguese version, Caridade, chapter 31. He says, the good now. Happiness is to live of service at hand, between the times in the head and Christ in the heart. You complain that time is short, sleeping and dreaming though, but time creates time if you do the good now. You affirm that everywhere there is trial. However, pain is a lesson if you do the good now. You allege that life is shadow of anguish that does not improve, but life is light if you do the good now. You bring your chest oppressed, heart that claims and cries, but struggle is access to comfort if you do the good now. Do not give in to pessimism, in resentment and sorrow that devours. Suffering perfects ourselves if you do the good now. Forget the stones and offenses in the harvest that improves yourself. Forgiveness is the fuel to greatness if you do the good now. Work constantly, serving and loving every time. Action is the divine force if you do the good now. Be kind and understanding wherever you are in the world. Every step leads to God if you do the good now. Do the good as much as you can. Ask life. Moving on, and death in the rear guard says, pay attention to time, my dear people. Casimiro Cunha. How often we plan to do the good sometime in the future, one day, we don't know when. Casimiro Cunha is reminding us that the best time to do the good is in the now. And the good is spontaneous. And it happens at the right moment, at the right hour, whenever needed. And he says, do as much good as you can. Today, you and I are being asked to use all of our strength to do the good now. Tomorrow, we may not be here. We may be elsewhere. And time asks us to do the good now. What a message, so deep, that is giving us fuel for this day, for this night, so we may do the good now in thoughts, feelings, words, and actions. Dear friends, let us practice optimism. Let us practice hope. Let us practice the power of God in us as we do the good now. Let us then join forces in this moment of prayer together. Shall we? Notes of harmony come our way, detoxifying our minds and bodies. What a blessing, dear God. Always a new day, a new beginning, and the mercy of new seconds to do the good, minutes to love, hours to serve, days to rejoice, in spreading happiness everywhere we are. For life is so precious. Thank you for sending challenges and difficulties our way, for showing us the limits that we need to respect, the limits of the body, the limits of our resources. So we practice humility. We are happy to know you are the all-powerful, the great, the loving force of the universe. We want to surrender in your arms of providence as we visualize right now a shower of healing light harmonizing ourselves, enveloping our loved ones into realms of life. We visualize this healing permeating the homes of our neighbors, traveling the streets of our cities, enveloping our states and our countries. Rays of healing light enveloping all nations on earth in fraternity, solidarity amongst one another. And our dear planet being cooled off in the flames of ignorance and hatred, and the warmth of love spreading itself out. We feel the presence of your love, dear God. Thank you for sending Master Jesus to guide and to model the divine in us. We feel the presence of your messengers, our protecting spirits, the guardian angels in our lives. May we do today better than we've done yesterday. May we feel your love and spread it always. Thank you, God. And so be it. It feels so good, right, dear friends, to be here, to support one another in our progress. Let's do the good now, in whatever form we find appropriate, reaching out always, having God inside of our hearts. Thank you, friends, for joining us. Today we had to pre-record again. We hope to see you tomorrow live here at Cardiac Radio, where we're always nourishing our souls. Thank you.